Today, I'm inviting you to slay the dragon of later of one day. We all say that, but quite frankly, life goes far too quickly to underestimate the power of your words and your intentions. And so, making the choice to go for what is actually true at this time, most true, is going to be the way to make sure that your life is both like fulfilling and joyous and the adventure you've always wanted as you progress through it, right? Not just at the end when you get certain goals, right? But that you know, all of life becomes important, the ups and the downs. And so when we are going for what we want, yes, there can be big challenges. There can be, we come up against so much of the kind of the old emotions and thoughts that, we've had for a long time or that we've kind of adopted from other people. And it takes work to begin shifting that, to letting them go. The work doesn't always have to be hard, but sometimes it can definitely feel arduous, right? But making the choice and following through is going to be one of the biggest ways to make sure that you're in the now, and the now as in connected to the future you that you want, not the now as in this is where I'm stuck, these are my present circumstances, but just life can be what it is, but the now me is already choosing something different, is already like moving into a more expanded state. And this is a perfect time of year for it, right? Every moment is perfect, but this time of year is especially one where this theme is something that's all around. So think of that as a way or a reason that it is a prime time, right? So what is the one thing that you've said no to or later to, or just, let me get this all in place, as in it'll take at least a few months before I'm ready? What is it that you can actually choose now? Because quite frankly, the universe starts supporting us when we do step into our true desires. Not the ones that we are creating, mentally that we think we need to have in order to get the end goal, but the ones that are actually speaking to us right now. I've given a few examples in past videos, and this time maybe I'll talk about a client where, for this client, she had like big career goals, business goals. She wasn't quite sure which one was which. Her actually most immediate goal was taking a holiday, a certain kind of holiday, to really refresh and have time for herself. And by doing that, it actually it just gave her so much energy that now we could look at the other things. But if she hadn't done that, or we said, I had looked at her and said, no, you have to do the hard stuff first, she probably would have been in a very heavy state about it and been pushing against something because her soul actually needed that space. There are other times I've had people who are like, yeah, I want to work with you, but, I am going on a holiday in 2 months, so let me do it after, because, by then maybe I'll feel different and blah, blah, blah. Well, those people they don't come back because they've already actually made the decision to delay it. And what happens is usually they just return to their old state and their default way of being and their default choices. And that's why then I don't hear from them, because they're not ready for real change. And in those instances, my guidance and recommendation, and again, it depends on every person, so this is not some generalization, but there can be a time when I will look at them and I will say, no, you start now. If that holiday's in 2 months, we've got 2 months that you can start the work, so that by the time you get on that holiday, you will already be a new person, instead of hoping that holiday is going to make you into one, right? So this is all independently relevant, right? So there's not one size fits all, whatever that answer is. So that's what I mean by going to your truth, what is actually alive right now. Because what is alive right now, guess what? It's really close to you. The thing that feels like, oh, it's going to take all of this time, usually it is far, because we're putting it far, and we're putting it far for some reasons that may be conscious and they may be unconscious, right? But what is alive, that that next piece, that next element, that's where that slaying that dragon of all later, or let me get this in place, is really applies. Because if something is alive in you right now, that means you are so close to it. It's right there. And all you got to do is usually just clear some energy between you and it, or maybe take one action, or make a new commitment, or something like that. And it comes to be. So if you find like you feel like you're maybe at the edge, or you find like you're kind of going this push-pull, like should I, shouldn't I, and you actually need some support, click the link in the description box and have a session with me, or maybe this 3-session package. Because sometimes, just by clearing that, a lot can actually loosen for us to go what can sometimes feel like warp speed right into the dream that we think we needed a lot of time for. So I hope that's been helpful. Write in the comments what you're doing, what you're changing, what you're creating, and so that I can really get a sense of who listens to these videos and what is happening, because then I can speak to them much more directly. So it's been a pleasure. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time.